And welcome back to episode 17.
17.
Suplex Biddies. It changes every week, folks. Brought to you by Couch Guy Sports. Lovely, lovely company. Use the internet once. Go check out all the blogs, all the other podcasts on the network. We're taking off a little bit. We're doing big things. Numbers looking good. And we're continuing to see success. With me, as always, we have our resident DJ, Mr. Diego Galvis, who performed the other night. I saw some Instagram stories about it. Looked very good.
Thanks.
We have The Walking Dead today, a.k.a. Andrew Hunneman.
Hi.
And you got...
Hi.
Oh, my goodness. And we have... Andrew bloated everything Hunneman. Got it. And then we have myself, the usual, the host, Chris Jones, the idiot. Again, Suplex Biddies, brought to you by Couch Guy Sports, but we're also brought to you by Exogun. Ever do a workout and feel like you need a massage after? Well, get your massage without leaving the house. Don't let pain and soreness slow you down, as Exogun revives muscle, it boosts circulation, and releases energy so you can recover faster and live better. Take it wherever you need it. Work, the gym, the trail, and put the power of percussion massage treatment in your hands. It's portable, adjustable, powerful. Exogun is trusted by the pros to deliver the ultimate in recovery. And like we said before, you can even use it for percussion therapy. What is that, you say? Well, percussion therapy boosts muscle function and recovery by penetrating deep into that muscle tissue with a series of rapid and concentrated pulsing strokes. This podcast knows things about pulsating strokes. Gain back control of your body and achieve long-term pain relief with Exogun. Get 10% off with code CGS10 at checkout. Comes with a charger and a carrying case. Go get your Exogun today and treat yourself to massage at a moment's notice. With me now, we have Diego Many Loads Galvis. Many Loads. How are we doing today?
We're doing good. How are you, Mr. I don't even know what to call you. I mean, at this point, you're just an implausible figure. You really are.
We're not doing this today, please. All right.
The Enigma. Chris Jones.
Oh, whoa. Is that a white girl wasted down the bottom?
I didn't change that.
Silly. One of the all-time funniest things I've ever been sent from Hunneman, by the way, is that gift right there.
Yep.
Today we're going to be diving into Money in the Bank talk. Money in the Bank, July 18th. Go over some things. So the Money in the Bank ladder match for the world title for the men's. So far, Ricochet, John Morrison, Riddle, all in as we talked about last week. Drew McIntyre is officially in it now. Big E is officially in it now. Kevin Owens is officially in it now.
Yep.
The winner of Cesaro and Owens this week will be in it, and the winner of King Nakamura and Baron Corbin will also be in it as well.
Who was Cesaro versus?
Seth Rollins.
Oh, okay, Rollins.
So that's up front. That's this week on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So real quick, let's talk Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. They had a qualifying match this past week on SmackDown. Last man standing on television, on network television. Very good.
Fox keeps giving you those main event matches just for no reason. You know, we got a Hell in a Cell a couple weeks ago. We got a Last Man Standing this week. I don't know, and they delivered. It's the never-ending feud of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And people say this is it for that chapter, but I put money on him getting involved in the Money in the Bank now because he's going to try to prevent Owens from winning. Would we agree?
Diego?
I would agree.
Hold on. I got you. No, okay, go ahead. You good now?
Sorry, I didn't know you were chewing.
I didn't know you were eating your cheese nips over there.
And listen, there's no bigger flex.
Oh, it's Cheetos.
WWE and Cheetos Puffs. Talking about Puffs. What a puffy eye Mr. fucking Sami Zayn got from Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the ending of that match was just
that was
chaotic.
Beautiful. I've never seen I always love when Kevin Owens just goes full heel on somebody. And that amount that amount of just power bumps that this guy just delivered to Sami Zayn was just phenomenal. I was like, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going.
More.
I want to see the spine leave his body.
He was so legitimately to end the match. He powerbombed him through the table, powerbombed him through the barricade. Was it?
I think it was there
on the barricade.
On the apron.
No, on the apron, and then on the stairs as well.
No, it ended on the apron. The apron was the last thing he powerbombed him on, but there was a second thing that he powerbombed him on, and I can't remember what it was exactly. But
I don't know.
God, I lost my train of thought. No, that was a great match.
He powerbombed him everywhere.
SmackDown's been great for months now. I'm curious to see the last two qualifiers between Cesaro and Seth Rollins, King Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. I'm interested to see Baron Corbin's character a little bit of character development, kind of getting the vibe of they're about to push him like they did MVP that one time, where he just can't buy a match for the longest time, and it's gonna be a big celebration, and he's just gonna get over.
Imagine if he actually turns face.
I mean, I feel like with Corbin, we can see a nicer Corbin finally coming out. For a while now, he's just been Mr. Oh, I'm this badass, like I'm this asshole in WWE. So I think we're gonna see like a happy, kinder Corbin that will finally be able to buy into the crowd, and the crowd will buy into him finally. Which at this point, I think it's a little late in the game, just because of how long this badass attitude has been dragging on for. But it'd be interesting to see. I mean, it is SmackDown, it is all that material. So if there's anybody developing really good material right now between all the other brands, it's SmackDown in itself. So
agreed.
All right, so let's give predictions on the qualifiers. Cesaro or Seth Rollins?
I'm still going with Cesaro because I think there's going to be something with Edge and Seth Rollins coming up, because they are allegedly supposed to be versing each other at SummerSlam. So whether it's someone runs interference or just something, I'm going to have to go with Cesaro. He's also been in this push and be one of those things, get that last-ditch effort, get one more chance because he was this close. And then you got to pick, I mean, Corbin, like you said, just hasn't won anything. Like he already lost his first name. They switched it back to Baron instead of King. So Nakamura also he's not going to win it. I mean, I think we can all agree that Nakamura is not going to be your money in the bank. But he is a veteran, can help keep, the match together, be the glue of the match, do some high spots. And, I'm going to, Nakamura and Cesaro for me.
I'm thinking Cesaro and Nakamura as well. Gotta remember, too, that for a while, Nakamura and Cesaro used to work together. It'll be a good and interesting storyline to see develop there. I agree with much of what Hester Shelley had to say here. About Cesaro getting that last push. I don't think this is his last push. It is possibly the push that he desperately needs to be in a relevant match come SummerSlam time. But I don't necessarily think it's a last-ditch push for Cesaro. Cesaro himself has been a storyline all along in his WWE career. If anything, this is the perfect timing to be pushing him far. He could even be, once draft time comes around, he could even be the babyface of Raw, which Raw desperately needs a new babyface in itself. So I'm personally all for Cesaro and Nakamura. I agree with Seth Rollins going into SummerSlam, maybe facing Edge. I think the two have so many similarities in the style of wrestling that it would be an absolutely epic match to watch in SummerSlam time.
I think we'll definitely see Cesaro in it, and then I agree. I just think Nakamura, where he is right now, is just a foot above Baron Corbin.
Oh yeah.
So basically, I see Corbin not being a part of it, and then to change the character a little bit. Maybe he goes full heel. Maybe him and Sami Zayn take out Kevin Owens or something like that. Like there could be different things, and that's where I wanted to tie this into. Is that I do think that the 8 participants they're going to have lined up, I don't think all 8 are going to be in it. I think we're going to get a swerve. One of them is going to get hurt or be unable to compete. And I have an idea of a couple gentlemen that potentially could be in the match as well.
Mm-hmm.
So say that's the case. What are some thoughts behind that?
Well, to go on the swerve idea, I still think you need to have Rollins and Cesaro in this match. So I actually think on SmackDown you're going to see Nakamura and Corbin kind of get into a little extra brawl, where either it's during the match or after the match, and it's like a double count out or something like that, and they just take each other out. And then maybe you have Cesaro and Rollins go on before, and then Rollins pleads his case like, hey, I just got screwed out of this. Give me my chance to do this. And I don't think I think you got to have them both in there because their rivalry is still kind of up in the air because it's 1-1 right now, I believe, in their series of matches.
This could technically be the quote unquote
the third,
the
rubber match.
In a sense, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do, and I mean, I wouldn't hate a big swerve like Keith Lee or even Randy Orton, slithering his way in because he's a snake. And
you already said the name I was thinking of.
Keith Lee.
Yeah, would be it would be
especially in front of fans, dude. Oh my goodness.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why I think we're getting that big swerve is because we have fans for the first time. Like, don't get me wrong, we had fans at WrestleMania, but we have a full capacity crowd at Money in the Bank. So I'm expecting to see at least a swerve, maybe two. Whether it's just fucking even Brock Lesnar coming to go face to face with Bobby Lashley at FUT, like after he beats Kofi Kingston. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just stuff like that in general. But as part of like the Money in the Bank, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Keith Lee. I wouldn't be surprised now if Aleister Black potentially is back within the company. We just don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was I thinking? I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a guy from NXT. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, for whatever reason, we just see Johnny Gargano show up just to do Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just like little shit like that, I think could make this pay-per-view much better than it already looks like it's going to be.
And as much as WWE has flubbed a lot of their, recent TVs and everything, they know exactly who to put out there to get the biggest responses and get that crowd going. So, I mean, right now it's 8-man. They could even add an extra 2.
We'll see.
I would agree with the Aleister Black storyline, especially with how prematurely he was released from WWE. Yep. Especially in a character that was just returning, starting to develop, and all of a sudden it's like released. Like, what the hell is that all about?
Mm-hmm.
But I also agree that we could see a potential figure from NXT finally being pushed up to the main roster. That individual that I personally see being pushed up to the main roster, though, is Karen Cross.
Think so?
That's who I could see potentially coming up. And that's where we could see a nice storyline being developed between somebody like Ricochet versus him.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that they, NXT also had Ricochet as a big character in himself. And now Karen Cross is that big character in NXT. I think it's time to see him in the main roster and see what he could do.
Unfortunately, it just looks like they're going to set up Karen Cross versus Samoa Joe at some point.
I wouldn't mind that.
Once Joe gets cleared.
Yeah. There's rumors going around that
he's looking to be cleared very soon.
He not only might be cleared, but he might be doing literally. He's going to be doing Stone Cold's role, but wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Even better. Yeah, he's the best, man. I also think the other thing we should kind of hinge on is Bronson Reed just lost the North American title. He's been getting a lot of
that's another one, right?
Main event matches and dark matches, and they seem to be, I think he lost the title way too soon, but if he's getting called up, it makes sense. So I think he's another name to keep an eye on.
It's a big one for Hit Row and Swerve Scott.
Yep.
Swerve Scott desperately needed the title around his waist, and with the way that the cruiserweights look and stuff like that, that was definitely a smart move for them to legitimate at least Hit Row right there.
Well, they don't have any tag teams left. They're up next to try to get those tag championships too.
Yep. Let's transition to the Money in the Bank for the women's. So far I got 6: Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, Carmella, and Selena Vega, who we saw last week.
Yep.
Come back, announced.
Yep.
Her and Mandy Rose had their little thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we still got 2 more.
Oh, no, was it Liv or Mandy? It was on SmackDown, right?
Liv,
yeah,
excuse
me,
Liv.
Okay.
Sorry. They were both the same person in my head. It's like thinking of like the Riot Squad and then whatever the other one was.
Sarah Logan.
No, not Seth. No, it was the Riot Squad, and then there was that other group. But like Liv and Mandy Rose were basically like the same entity.
Oh,
in
yeah,
that
yeah.
group.
Yep. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep, I do. Same vibe.
Yeah. So again, I mean, we've just been predicting to see who it's going to be. What do we think? Who are these final two spots going to?
Well, the Raw side's full.
Yep.
Because it's supposed to be 4 and 4.
Listen, on SmackDown, they do it. They've been doing it every week. They just what's her face? Sonya Deville just comes out and just announces who's representing. So what are some thoughts here?
I think Liv's still going to squeeze in. I'm not quite sure how, or she's going to get screwed over, and it's going to be like Becky Lynch. Or Liv's going to qualify, and then at the show, Sonya's going to pull her out because for whatever reason they're building up that to be a little bit of a feud. For whoever's left, like I really don't know what's left on the SmackDown roster. I think one of the tag champs will get in it. Maybe Natalya is always a solid vet. I mean, Vega is very good. I'm glad she's going to get the chance to actually have a prominent match because for the first part of her run, she was just a mouthpiece for Andrade and occasionally did a Hurricane Rana to somebody like on the outside.
Right.
And she's very, very good. And a lot of people compare her to AJ Lee. You know, not only did she play her in a movie, you know, her role, she also has a very similar mannerisms and the way she speaks and carries herself. She has that vibe. And that's also another reason why Aleister Black coming back wouldn't surprise me because now his wife is back. So I still think we're getting Becky Lynch. We have to. It's a good card, but there's no big name, you know?
Yeah.
Because if Seth Rollins makes your men's match, that's your big name. But
I mean, Drew McIntyre is the big name, technically, in the men's.
I was about to say that after I sip my water.
But no, so I have a weird one where I think that you're right. I do think that Liv gets in, and then whether or not Becky's the surprise or not, I think Liv. I'll agree with you with Natalya. I'll say Liv and Natalya. Then I think at the show we're going to see some fuckery where Liv's not going to be in the match, and the competitor that's going to be replacing her is going to be Sonya Deville.
Okay. And then she actually wrestles. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because there's there was rumors that I was reading that she's working her way back into the fold when it comes to wrestling.
Right.
So
and she can go. She's very talented.
Yep.
I mean, she's in that position herself right now, being the boss so far as SmackDown. She's in that position where she can declare herself at any minute as part of the match itself.
All she has to do is say, you know, Liv can't compete. I might as well just toss myself in.
But another person that I could think of as well is Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be a bad one.
Another strong possibility there. So.
Well, so if you think of it like this, and now everything's just clicking in my brain, which is scary. Sorry, that was an alarm. Basically, what SmackDown's been doing is every week they've been just announcing a competitor, right? The last SmackDown before the pay-per-view is the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Who's scheduled to be back the 16th?
Yeah.
Sasha Banks.
John Cena.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Sasha Banks. So, well, him too. Well, not for women, dude. You can't see him. But for women, so Sasha Banks, like Diego just said, could make so much sense right there.
Is she rumored for that show?
She is. Her and Edge were confirmed months ago for that day.
I know they were loading it up because that's the first one with fans right before Money in the Bank. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, if you think about it, like for SmackDown itself, they're developing such a good program that it's a good opportunity to bring in the four horsewomen back in. Yep. This is starting
like that again.
That to be that way.
That can be when Becky returns. That could be when, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's so many different avenues they can go.
But I don't want to make a prediction yet for the women's yet because I want to see the final two names. But I think, you know, from the outside looking in, we can all just think it's going to be, you know, Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, you know what we haven't? The last time we recorded, we didn't know who Roman was facing. for the title. We were kind of
yeah.
making little hints at it, thinking like, oh, it's gonna be fucking Dominic Mysterio.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, you hear the music and you go, holy shit, I'm
On
so
this
glad
day.
I was wrong.
Yep.
So if you've been living under a rock for the past week or so, Roman Reigns and Edge, the Universal Championship, is happening at Money in the Bank.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
This is something I'm looking forward to, but at the same time, we all know that Edge will not win the title because of what he has lined up moving forward for him. So I am curious to see how they play this out.
Mm-hmm. I'm waiting to see how it's. I think this and the Seth Rollins Cesaro is all going to tie in somehow, and you might even get a big tag match before the pay-per-view between them.
Edge and Cesaro versus Reigns and Rollins. Ooh.
Yeah. So whether that's to the build to SummerSlam or whatever it is, but I want to know how they're going to do it because it's going to be something simple. Like he just decides Rollins is like, you know what? Edge took my spot because remember Rollins was making his plea to be the next to fight for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
And then in came Edge so that he already has his gripe. So
right. Agree.
We'll see. I'm just happy Edge is back.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the rated R superstar?
I mean, he's not going to win, but it's great to see him get his one-on-one match with Reigns in front of a full crowd. You know,
yeah,
full circle return. Love it.
You?
I don't have any other thoughts. I personally don't. I'm all for this Edge return, man. I'm excited to see that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see Roman be pushed to the edge. No pun intended. But
we like that.
I see what you did there.
We like that.
Sneaky.
But just want to see him.
We like that. We like.
Just want to see him pushed a little bit more. You know, just comparatively wise, like they've tried against everybody in the roster, and the roster itself is just not there at that level of creativity that Roman Reigns has displayed so far. It's time to for him to be challenged with something outside of the box, and I think Edge here makes a perfect case scenario.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So now we know for the WWE title, it's Lashley versus Kofi.
Yep.
I'm curious. I'm curious at the angle they're going to play with it, but I think the last thing that we really need to talk about is the fact that we're basically getting the same women's championship matches from both Raw and SmackDown, but SmackDown has that twist.
Yep.
So for Raw, it's Rhea versus Charlotte again for the women's title, which we saw how it happened last time. Rhea got herself disqualified.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte's basically like, oh, you're fucking learning.
Yep.
And then Bianca Bailey again. This time, the end of this rivalry.
Yep. I quit. Bailey finally taking that time off.
I think
we've been saying right since November.
I'm telling you right now, I think it's the second time ever that we've had a women's I Quit match.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of the first one, but I think there has been at least one.
So what are our thoughts on these two matches? Because we've already seen them twice. Technically, Charlotte and Rhea once. We've seen Bailey and Bianca twice now. What are our thoughts going into this?
The Bianca Bailey one, I'm not too thrilled about. Like, I like that they added the stipulation, but like, I don't know how you can go from like a Hell in a Cell match to just like an I Quit match.
Right.
It just seems like such a drop off for what should have already been a capped off rivalry. But it's a placeholder. They know Bailey's going to deliver. They're going to do some good promo work. And then again, I think maybe Sasha comes back and helps her old buddy Bailey. I don't know. But I can't picture them having Belair even utter the words I quit. Because they built her up way too much. You know, not a fuck. I'd bet Martin's mortgage on that.
Martin's mortgage, oh my God. That guy's about to be homeless than ever before.
Oh, well. So One Night Stand 2008, Beth Phoenix and Melina was the I Quit match.
Okay.
That was the first one. And then you had one for NXT UK, which was Kaylee Ray versus Toni Storm.
Yep.
And if Toni Storm lost, she couldn't challenge for the UK Women's Championship.
Correct.
Yep.
Those are the only two in WWE history up until now. Everything else has been like there were times where it was 3 straight that we saw John Cena versus someone in an I Quit match.
Yep.
Two of them were at over the limit. Remember that pay-per-view?
Yes. Yep.
I do.
I think this I Quit match makes sense in itself. I get that the storyline has been dragged for far too long. It's too over pushy. But seeing how much of a bully Bailey has been trying to be against Bianca Belair, like this lines it up for the perfect timing for Becky Lynch to come back and be like, she may quit, but I'm not. Bring it on, bitch. That's where you can see it happening.
We might have talked about it before. I think Bailey and Becky are the only two of the horsewomen that haven't feuded.
Exactly.
So I would love to see that program.
It's time to bring that on. I think this is exactly where we could see Becky Lynch finally just coming back and preparing to line up a big match, something like Bianca versus Becky or Bailey versus Becky for SummerSlam. That's where I can see this lining up.
Yeah.
I don't want Belair to lose the title yet, but if Becky's back, you got to do it.
You got to prove it against the one person that left for bigger responsibilities.
Not necessarily.
She's the biggest star in the company besides
I agree. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think she's one of those that doesn't need the title on her to be good.
Yeah,
they just have to book. They just have to book her.
Yep, agreed.
Although I wouldn't mind a brand versus brand kind of championship round, like a Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair.
We'll get that at Survivor Series, dude.
We got a little bit of time.
Yeah, don't you worry.
To go on from those two, we got to touch on the Kofi Bobby Lashley match, or Ripley Charlotte. I'm sorry, we already saw it twice.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're gonna do this time. I feel
here comes Hunneman trying to brush it off.
I like Rhea Ripley, man. I just don't like what they're doing because they're both like heels. And heel versus heel doesn't usually work really well. And Ripley's got that baby face energy, but they're just not letting her do it. They're like, oh, she has gothic clothing on and piercing. She must be a bad guy. It's like, no, Vince. All right.
She doesn't like the sun. I'll tell you one person doesn't like the sun. Me.
You.
Let's see these farmer tans. Look at that. Yuck. That's gross. You got tan and then you got fucking Casper the Ghost on my shoulder.
You and Castor Oil would be the bestest of friends ever because you are ashy as fuck.
Dude, I need some cocoa butter.
Do we think that the Charlotte Rhea match is going to get like a no DQ stipulation just because of how the last one ended?
Yes.
I fucking hope so.
It needs
otherwise she's just going to do the same thing. And it's like
there needs to be a definitive winner. I do not want to go into SummerSlam seeing Rhea versus Charlotte yet again.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I don't know what you do for Rhea for SummerSlam, but it can't be Charlotte.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I understand. I have a feeling it's going to be because it's SummerSlam and you need Charlotte Flair on the card. But
no, you don't really need her in the card though. She's been kind of like I appreciate her new character. I appreciate her new character, but I'm just not sure it makes sense for the SummerSlam card. It hasn't flourished.
You gotta think of that geriatric fuck writing the checks. Charlotte Flair, absolutely. Put her in 6.
Yeah.
Every match on the card.
3 stages of hell.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the next step at this point.
Fucking 2 out of 3 falls to the death. Loser dies.
So let's move over to Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston because I think we have more excitement out of that one.
This will be the last thing we touch upon.
If my body wasn't dying inside from all of the alcohol I consumed last night, I would be a lot more.
You've been dying since the day you were born, so let's.
You are correct. Every day you are closer to death. Good job, Diego. I'd be a lot more giddy if I had the ability, but I am so happy Kofi Kingston.
Let's give him alcohol every week.
Nope, retired. I hate it here.
I'll make sure that we record from now on the day after we drink. Got it.
All right, so we're not drinking. We're not going to record for another month and a half. Cool.
Don't say that to the viewers. The viewers love the content every week.
I'm not drinking, man. Even in New York, I'm going easy next weekend.
Yeah, well, guess what? We got my birthday. You're gonna. Oh no, you can't. Fuck you.
You got to work the next day.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bobby versus Kofi. There's gonna be some great spots in here. Kofi's gonna get a couple of close finishes. And the Almighty is just going to be the Almighty.
Yep.
And Brock's going to come out, set up that feud for SummerSlam, inject it into my fucking veins. And at this point, if Brock Lesnar is going to be my champion, I'm kind of sort of okay with it.
I don't want it. He was such a bad champion.
Yeah. No, I don't want it either.
When he performs and when he's there for a storyline, it's great. But when he just disappears for a month or two and he's just the world champion of your brand, it's just, you can't do it with the part-timers. He's got to be back full on. You worked way too hard to build up that WWE title, and you can't just give it to someone who's only going to show up every third week, I think.
Yeah, I can't even see Paul Heyman on 2 nights of TV product.
That man's got a lot going on.
He does. Any final thoughts before we end episode 17 of the Biddies of the Suplexes?
I still think you might get Bobby versus Brock at SummerSlam, but not for the championship. I think you're going to get Lashley beats Kofi, but gets mad because of how close Kofi came to beating him. And Big E, who won the Money in the Bank earlier, that comes in and cashes in on him. That's still my bold prediction for it. I think Big E is going to be your new WWE champion.
I would take that in a heartbeat.
Ooh.
I would take
and
that
then
in a heartbeat.
New Day gets back together on Raw. Lashley doesn't lose credibility because he just got screwed over and cashed in on. And maybe even Brock comes out to beat him up.
So
and then Big E cashes in, you know?
Can I who does Big E face at SummerSlam if that's the case? They're gonna do Big E and McIntyre?
No, it'd be a rematch with Lashley, I imagine.
But you just said
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, McIntyre probably. Or I mean, it could be anybody. Fucking throw Chad Gable in there. I don't know. He's not even on the same show. Jason Jordan.
Dude, you got a better chance of seeing Big E versus Apollo.
Yeah. Uninject that from my veins. I've seen that too many times. That needs to stop. That needs to stop.
Commander Aziz. Diego, any final thoughts before we conclude the many loads that we've given this episode?
One more load, right?
Yeah, the last one.
Honestly,
I get those pulsating strokes from Exogun.
I just feel like that Roman Reigns versus Edge match could use a twist in between, whether it's after the match has concluded or whether it's in between the match to make it a triple threat. Yeah. And I just feel like this is one of those matches where you can see somebody like Daniel Bryan popping in.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I feel like that story could be redone.
That's another name. Who knows?
Who knows what he's doing?
I feel like that's a story that could be redone. So
yeah,
that's just for me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I agree.
I'm very much looking forward to the pay-per-view. Let's put it that way.
Okay. We could see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar happen at SummerSlam. For what championship? I don't know. Battle of the Bulldozers, I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking know what title.
That is motherfucker in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
The big boys.
You know, let's see who can make Dana White happier. I don't know. Like, what the fuck? Do you make now? You know?
So from all of us here, big shout out to Couch Guys Sports. Use the internet one time. Go check them out. Exogun, CGS10 and checkout, 10% off. Much worth it. Trust me. After going to the gym, all I need is a massage for 5 minutes, running the legs, and it feels heavenly.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we will be back soon. Stay tuned, and we will see you guys some point next week.
Yeah. Episode 18.
Keep it tight.
See you.
Wait, that's up, down. I'm sorry.
Show your mouths. End it.